of our industry is people. Let me share some real statistics with you. One of the changes we made was we said rather than hiring people from campus, let's hire people who've gone and finished their curriculum so that we can truly understand who are the guys who could fit into our industry. Many of us would remember that when we were students and we went back to institutes to hire, many times when we would ask questions, the answers we would get is, sir, this was taught in the second year, I have forgotten that. Sir, this is going to be taught in the next semester, so I don't know this. So this is being taught in this semester, but I'm appearing for interviews. So essentially, everyone had a good answer as to why they couldn't answer fundamental questions relating to the subject of choice. So the reality is we said, let's go, after everyone's gone and done everything, and let's try and hire those people who are full-fledged graduates. The success rate was appalling. The acceptance rate was as low as 17%. So Jetli spoke about 25%. Really, when we went in, it was 17%. Very, very low. Now just imagine if you have to hire 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 engineers, and the acceptance rate is going to be 17%. How many engineers will we have to interview, take them through the process within a very, very short period of time to be able to meet market requirements? You can very clearly imagine is a huge, tough task. Within our own organization, we turned around and said, after people came in, we said, we want to take people in a specialized area, but then we want to choose people with certain kind of skills. We asked people to volunteer for certain kinds of roles. We said, we'll take you through a specialized training program and give you the opportunity of going into what we call customer-facing roles. The acceptance rate was 19 people out of 400. Now you can just imagine our plight when we turn around and say we want to create leaders for the future. When starting from the point in time you recruit to the point in time you're selecting internally within organizations and taking people to the next level, there is a huge challenge. And the challenge is very fundamental. When I joined the services industry, again, I had a stint and then I moved to technology and coming back to the services industry. I asked one of my colleagues, what do these guys speak? Do they speak Hindi? Do they speak English? Are they speaking Tamil? Are they speaking Telugu? My colleague joked and said, no Manoj, they speak Java and C++. And I said, there is no way, we guys can survive if communication skills are where they are. So to Jetli's point, soft skills, I call them hard skills, just don't exist. And people believe they can easily get jobs because there's a huge demand for software engineers so they can just behave the way in which they behave and carry on with life. When we speak to a lot of outsiders, they say what you guys lack is communication skills. They lack confidence. They are not able to, they're not just able to talk about the stuff that they have done, and they come across very, very poorly, particularly when we start looking at international audiences. So I'd say in terms of the talent crunch, there is a lot that needs to be done. I really like Rajeev's book. It speaks about fundamentals of life skills. You want to go to a meeting, how do you go to a meeting? How do you start a meeting? How do you end a meeting? How do you make sure that you get value out of that? Simple stuff. He's spoken about task switching. Today, every guy thinks he's a hero. I can do 5 things at the same time, and Rajeev and I were talking over tea, right? I can send an email, I can work on a PowerPoint, and then do WhatsApp with my girlfriend. I told him the older guys may not have girlfriends, but the older guys have to try and assimilate newer technologies, which is even more difficult. So the reality of life is, and Rajeev explains it beautifully in his book, it's not about multitasking. He says, we switch tasks, so the best thing is just to focus on one and do it well. So I think there are lots of interesting anecdotal experiences that Rajeev has shared in the book. I think this book will go a long way in terms of at least helping engineers. If nothing else, they don't go through any other thing, just follow that book, they'll come across well and they'll be able to add significant value. I think all of us have a collective role to play. The industry and academia both have a role to play. Both have to partner and both have to make sure that we're able to create success. I can tell you my biggest challenge is in my own organization, we've created a fantastic learning workplace where people come in, they get trained over a period of time. We've now started doing backward integration. We've now got an engineering college which we have set up on our campus through a venture that we have done with Ecole of Paris. And we have the ex-director of IIT Kanpur, who's now the director of this college. So we are doing backward integration. We are saying if we need people with certain skills, then we might as well start setting up engineering colleges and start working on the curriculum from that level Of course, it's not necessary that everyone from that college will join us and so on and so forth, though we are co-located in the same campus. But our hope is we will all learn together from each other. One other area I just want to touch, and I'm going to pass the mic on, is that if you look at our system of education, it is based on analyses. All of us are very comfortable in solving partial differential equations. But when it comes to doing designs, that is where we falter. So we falter when education requires synthesis. And that's where the Europeans are very, very good. So as we start looking at talent crunch, it is not just in terms of getting good talent which understands fundamental engineering or technology related subjects, but it is also the way we are taught and the way education is actually being delivered today. So there is a whole lot of work that needs to be done and needs to be done collaboratively. I'm very happy that the industry is trying to work with academia, setting up centers of excellence, setting up innovation centers. But I don't know, through this incremental effort, how we will be able to create the huge volume of employable people. I mean, if we are accepting 17%, someone may be accepting a little here or there. Jaitley's example is 25%. So if we take anything between, say, 12% to 25% as the acceptance rate of industry from colleges, I think what's going to happen to those 75% people who are just not going to get the opportunity is something we all need to think. But Rajeev, I want to congratulate you on a great first step. You've done it at very low cost. You've told all the guys, if you don't want to increase your skills, just go read my book. At least you'll turn out to be better when you land up at work. Simple things like you need to dress properly. And it's so fundamental. And I worked in a technology company, I don't want to take the name, it's one of the best technology companies on the planet. We had lots of engineers who would walk in with slippers. And then one day I told a guy that, why are you walking in with these slippers? You should walk in with shoes. He said, if you want me to walk in shoes, you better provide the shoes. I said, your shirt is not appropriate. He said, you don't like my shirt, you better buy me shirt. I said, we give you salary. He says, but this is the way I feel comfortable. So believe it or not, we bought footwear for all the employees. We gave 7 t-shirts to all the employees. We said 1 t-shirt a day, at least once a week you should wash it. Fortunately, the guys didn't come and say, give me 365 and every year give me 365. The discussion I used to have with engineers in a room was, I would say, listen guys, let's be clear. I used to wear a tie. I said, I'll take off this tie. You're an engineer, I'm an engineer. Let's talk as equals or peers. If you want to talk to me as a blue-collar worker, let's have that discussion. I'll put on my tie and then let's have that discussion and dialogue. So it has taken a long, long time to try and make people understand that we all have customers outside. We all have to serve the external world. We are all in it together. It's not worker versus management. We are all equals. And truly so in our industry, actually, everyone is a management employee. So thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm sure there's going to be a good interaction here. This is a real problem. I think we all have to work together at it. There are solutions, but my worry is how do we scale? I think a point that Prashant made in his opening comments as well. How do we scale and how do we take it forward?